I went into New Moon not really sure what to expect, and having seen it twice within 12 hours of its release, I can safely say that I've developed a bottom line opinion about it. Fans who have read the books will love New Moon, but anyone that hasn't read the books will probably not. My personal opinion? It was really, really, really good. Now, of course, it had some flaws, but I think that New Moon is quite an improvement over Twilight. Now, as soon as they show the words New Moon on the screen, you can already tell that this is a very different movie. I mean, it really makes Twilight look like a student film, and you don't even need to like New Moon or the Twilight series at all. If you watch both movies, you can just sense a much higher quality in New Moon. Some people actually have been saying that they preferred the more like indie style that Twilight had over New Moon. But after thinking about it for a while, I mean, I think I liked the quality of New Moon better. Chris Weitz, I wouldn't say he did an amazing job. He did a very good job, but also a very safe job. But I don't want you guys to interpret that as a bad thing so much. It's just kind of, you know, he could have maybe tried a few things that aren't so conventional. One of the worst parts of New Moon was the pacing. There were some parts that dragged, and then there were some parts that you wanted to last longer, but just were over like that. Like if you blinked, you missed Bella's birthday party at the Cullen house. Like it went so fast. But like I said, there were other parts that just dragged, like the whole Italy thing. Honestly, I didn't really care about Italy or the Volturi in the book, so I really didn't care in the movie. Honestly, that is the most boring part of the movie to me. Especially after they beefed it up like crazy. Every trailer showed like fight scenes and stuff, and they showed Jane. Dakota Fanning as Jane? Wow, big deal. She didn't do anything special at all. The only guy from the Volturi that was like worth mentioning was Aro. He was fantastic. Like Michael Sheen was so awesome. And now that I seem to be moving more into the acting, why don't I just continue right up front with Kristen Stewart. You guys know, not the biggest Kristen Stewart fan, and I thought that she was the downfall of Twilight. That being said, you'll probably be surprised that I thought Kristen Stewart did a much better job in New Moon as Bella than she did in Twilight. I don't know exactly what it is, I can't really put my finger on it, but something about her, it was just better. The only scene that Kristen Stewart wasn't so good in was the breakup scene, in my opinion. I thought that she was a little flat in that scene. She was a little stale. Not enough passion. No, but seriously, it could have used a lot more passion. And specifically, some of the scenes that she was the best in were with her fantastic co-star, Taylor Lautner. Thank God they did not replace him in the part of Jacob. He was fantastic. Now, I do think that he should have played Jacob a little more shy and awkward before the werewolf transformation, but everything after that was fantastic. Like, you really, really, really felt for him. You want to slap Bella in the face and be like, you idiot, look at Jacob, he's right there, go for him, you know, and it's really, like, he did a really great job with that, honestly, but I mean, I was expecting that, so I knew he was going to be great. He was great in Twilight, he was in it for like 2 seconds, but he was fantastic. Very good move to keep him in the movie. They would have made a huge mistake if they had replaced him. In the ending credits, he is third billed with Robert Pattinson's second billed under Kristen Stewart. What is that about? I don't know why Taylor Lautner got gypped out of second billing, but whatever, it kind of makes me mad. However, Robert Pattinson did do an excellent job, I thought. For the amount of time that he was in the movie, I thought he did a great, great, great job. Sometimes he looked like he was about to cry, and sometimes he looked like he was about to laugh. That's the problem. He was great, though, like I said. He did an excellent job with the small amount of screen time that he had in the movie. Although I say he had a small amount of screen time, he actually had way more than he should have, in my opinion. They should not have showed him at all. It would have been a much bigger impact, I think, if they didn't, but unfortunately, that's a choice they made just because they wanted to please people and show them Robert Pattinson. It wasn't even a big deal. He had his shirt on, for God's sake. So I just really think they made a huge mistake with that. They should have kept him out. The relationship between Bella and Edward is non-existent, which is a problem. It was the same problem in Twilight. They have no chemistry on screen, in my opinion at least. I don't think that they love each other at all. Like, they like each other at best, is what it seems like. However, Kristen and Taylor have such a great on-screen chemistry. Like, it's just awesome. It's so much fun to watch. I do think that Rob and Kristen should really, really work on their chemistry on screen, but Kristen and Taylor, they've got it down pat. They don't need to work on it at all. They're all set. Like I did in my Twilight review, I have to give a huge shout out to Bella's friends, specifically Jessica, and totally gotta give it to Mike. That kid is excellent. I love him. I feel like they don't get a lot of credit, so I definitely want to give them credit for sure. They were very, very good. Now, the Wolf Pack, to be honest, I don't really have an opinion about the Wolf Pack. I can't really tell them apart. They all are very, very similar when they all have their shirts off and their hair short. It's pretty much Very difficult to tell who's who. Honestly, Quill and Embry remind me of Fred and George from Harry Potter, so that's kind of awkward. Oh man, I just remembered one of my favorite people in the entire movie, Billy Burke as Charlie. He really, he might be one of the best parts of New Moon. We cheered when he came on the screen. I love Charlie. I don't know what else to say. He's great. And the Cullens. Alice, I liked her more in Twilight for sure. It kind of seems like Ashley Greene is getting a little bit, doesn't really matter what I do. I'm Alice. Everybody loves me. Kind of getting that feel from it. But the rest of the Cullens for the, minute or so that they were on screen were fine. Nothing big. Actually, no, that's a lie. Jackson Rathbone as Jasper was very, very good. I do want to point that out. And quickly, just to say something about the music, a lot of people are knocking the music and saying they didn't like the music. I thought the music was one of the best parts of the movie. And now the last thing that I have to talk about real quick before I go into my little spoiler section of this review. I very openly said that I thought that the werewolves looked awful when I first saw the teaser trailer. Now, having seen New Moon, I have to say they did a great job. I still think that they are a little too tame looking, not what I pictured. These wolves looked realistic, but I didn't picture it so realistic in my head. But, for the direction that they went in, the effects were much better than I was originally thinking from the New Moon teaser trailer. I was saying that the werewolves looked awful, but I have to take that back. They did a very good job with the werewolves. So overall, like I said, I thought that New Moon was very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought that the pacing was a little messed up in some spots for sure. But like I said, I think Chris Weitz did a very good job. And even though he didn't take many, risks or anything, he had some fantastic ideas in there. And there were some very, very awesome shots that I will get into in the next part here. And like I said, the acting, much better in my opinion, especially from Kristen Stewart. She had a vast improvement from Twilight, I thought. Definitely worth the wait, and definitely has me very excited for Eclipse. Now I'm going to talk about some quote-unquote spoilers, so hopefully if you don't want to hear the spoilers, you have closed out by now. Here we go. The scene where Bella has the camera spinning around her and it says October, November, December, brilliant. Next favorite part of the movie, the wolf fight, for sure. Totally, totally awesome. And actually, during that werewolf fight, there's a cool shot where the werewolves roll towards the camera, and it actually knocks the camera over. It moves the camera and makes the camera on its side. I thought that was very, very cool. It actually might be my number one favorite part in New Moon, is the part where they are in Bella's kitchen. Jacob and Bella are in Bella's kitchen, and Jacob answers the phone, tells Edward, oh, he's at the funeral, and you see Edward crush the phone. That whole sequence is amazing. One of my small favorite things about the movie is the fact that there's one part where Jacob is walking in the rain, and I don't know if a lot of people noticed it, but I did immediately. There's steam coming off of him because he's hot, obviously. There's steam coming off of his body. Genius. The part where Victoria is being chased by the wolves through the woods is easily one of the coolest scenes in the movie for sure. It was sick. Especially when they show the bird flying slow to show how fast they're running. That was just awesome. And speaking of how fast they're running, really quickly, let me just say, they did the running much better in this movie by not even showing it. They didn't show them running. They showed them zipping from place to place. Much better idea. The meadow. Why couldn't they find this meadow for Twilight? The meadow in New Moon is perfect. The sparkling hasn't really improved a whole lot, in my opinion. I guess it was a little bit better, but I still pictured, beams of light shooting off of him. Just looks like he came out of a rave. I don't know. The sparkling really still doesn't work. Listen to me, I'm talking about if the sparkling is good. Jesus Christ. Okay, what was with all the vampires and Bella being so nonchalant, in public about them being vampires? First of all, Alice, jumps over a railing, she's just like, hey Bella, come here, I got a gift for you, here. It's just, why did she jump over a railing? It's so stupid. They're obviously not that interested in keeping it a secret. I don't know, it was too much. Speaking of too much, what's with the scene on Bella's birthday when they're kissing outside of the car? But they're barely kissing, and they're both oh yeah, give it to me. They're barely kissing! What the hell? I feel like Catherine Hardwicke came in and she was like, needs more grunting, needs more moaning. Come on, you remember what I taught you? You gotta make it passionate, you gotta make it steamy. Oh god. I could see if they were passionately kissing, but they weren't at all. Alright, the shot after Bella gets the paper cut, when she looks up and all the vampires are looking at her right after Alice says, it's just a little blood, when they're all looking at her, that is, the scariest shot ever. Because you just realize, you're holy crap, she's bleeding in front of, half a dozen vampires. Honestly, it gave me chills. It was scary. It was really, really, one of the coolest shots in the movie. You know what really upset me that they cut out of the movie was that they didn't even, say or show or anything that Edward took all of the stuff that had anything to do with him out of Bella's room. They never pointed out the fact that he took everything. I just wish they had showed that, or at least said something about it, but that was literally completely cut out of it. One random effect shot that I thought was completely ridiculous and so just dumb was when like Bella goes to get the pizza that they had delivered while they're working on the motorcycle, and she takes a slice out and she just goes and like whips it across the room, and then it pans over quick and Jacob goes like this and catches a wrench, like it turns into a wrench. First of all, who the hell throws a slice of pizza at somebody? Like, hey, catch! Like, who throws a slice of pizza? Who throws a wrench? Who throws a wrench? Like, Jacob is, into building and stuff like that. He would be like, don't ever throw a wrench. Don't ever throw a wrench. You're gonna kill somebody. Nobody throws pizza. Nobody throws wrenches. That was so stupid. One of the best parts, funniest parts, is when Jacob is like, he says to Alice, he's like, don't make me upset. Things are going to get very ugly. Like, it's so funny because he sounds so naive, which is perfect. Whether or not it was, like, intentional, it's hysterical. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but did Edward and Bella talk, let alone kiss, in Italy? I thought in the book that I only read it once a while ago, didn't they only talk or kiss or anything after they got back to Forks? Like, after Italy? I don't even think that they spoke to each other in Italy. I could be wrong. I don't know, maybe I am wrong, because that seems like they added in a lot if that's the case. The look into the future of Bella as a vampire didn't really do a whole lot for me. I don't know, it kind of kills anticipation, doesn't it? Maybe that's just me, but I think that they should have kept that out. I loved the fact that they just added, when Charlie closes the door, when Edward is in Bella's room at the end, when Charlie closes the door, after telling her she's grounded for the rest of her life, it pans slightly to the left, and there is a wolf painting next to the door. Love it. And finally, the end of the movie. I was not feeling that little intake of breath just before it goes to black. I think it would have been better if there was just nothing and then black, and it was just like, doom. That would have been better in my opinion. I thought that the little, like, was a little cartoony for me. Didn't really feel it at all. So, all in all, I loved New Moon. The more I think about it, the more and more I like it. I'm very happy with it. Of course, like I said, there were some problems, like especially the pacing and some things left out, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It was a very, very, very good movie, and I'm very happy with it, and I think it was definitely worth the wait. Let me know in the comments what you thought about the Twilight Saga New Moon. Let me know if you thought it was worth the wait. Let me know how excited you are for Eclipse. I am very excited, by the way. Let me know what your favorite parts of the movie were. Let me know what your least favorite parts of the movie were. Let me know how you think Kristen Stewart did, how you think Taylor Lautner did, how you think Robert Pattinson did specifically, and anybody else. Just let me know anything you want about New Moon. I look forward to seeing what you have to say, and that is pretty much it. Hey Bella, I got a present for you!